everyone for coming tonight. My name is Gibbons. I'm the Policy Director of Defending Rights and Dissent. Defending Rights and Dissent is a First Amendment organization that defends the American people's freedom to act and right to know. We're joined in co-sponsoring this event by the Freedom of the Press Foundation, and we are very honored to have Representative Tlaib and Representative Bush, two of the most courageous people in the Congress.
Woo!
Yes,
indeed!
Entire Washington, D.C. With us tonight, standing with us. Throughout the last 103 days of total war against Gaza, the world has witnessed horrific atrocity after horrific atrocity. The world has also witnessed the historic courage of Gaza's journalists who risked their lives to bring us this story. Israel has mostly blocked foreign journalists from reaching Gaza. Those foreign journalists reporting on the war from within Israel have agreed to submit themselves to Israeli military censorship. This means Gazan journalists are some of the only voices on the ground able to communicate to the world what is actually taking place. Without these brave reporters, we would not have the images that have shocked the conscience of the people of the world. We would not hear the stories of a besieged people living under a massive bombardment. Gaza's journalists are vital to showing us what happens on the other side of the bombs. And they are all the more important in a climate where too often Palestinians are dehumanized, Palestinian perspectives are erased. They are all the more important in a media landscape which sanitizes war, where the perspective of the occupier is privileged over the perspective of the occupied, where parroting military public relations is lauded as objectivity, and the proclamations of the Israeli government are treated as true until proven otherwise, and the first-hand testimonies of Gazans are treated as unreliable unless proven otherwise. During a temporary ceasefire in November, Politico reported that some Biden administration officials were concerned the pause in the killing would, and I'm quoting Politico, would allow journalists broader access to Gaza and the opportunity to further illuminate the devastation there and turn public opinion on Israel. The Biden administration, like the Israeli government, knows that truthful, accurate reporting on what is happening in Gaza poses a problem for their ability to sell this war. In war, more so than almost any other issue, truth is important, and yet it is in war where governments are the most eager to silence the truth. Reporting from a war zone is always dangerous, but Gaza's conflict has been the deadliest in recorded history for journalists. The Palestinian Journalist Syndicate, the trade union representing journalists in the occupied territories, has reported that over 100 of its members, that's 8% of all journalists in Gaza, have been killed by this war. When you engage in one of the largest conventional bombing campaigns in history against one of the most densely populated places on Earth, you are bound to kill massive numbers of innocent civilians. While there is no question that Israel's indiscriminate bombing campaign has done that, the Palestinian Journalist Syndicate notes that the overwhelming majority of its members have been killed in targeted surgical strikes. While other NGOs have different methods and have different numbers, again and again during this war, groups like Committee to Protect Journalists and Reporters Without Borders have concluded journalists killed during this war have been deliberately targeted by Israel. This is not a new practice. These NGOs similarly determined Israel's killing of Al Jazeera reporter Shireen Abu Akleh and the sniper attacks on journalists during the Great March of Return were deliberate war crimes under international law. As we mourn these brave journalist murders, we cannot forget that every bullet fired, every bomb dropped, every missile launched by Israel is paid for by U.S. taxpayer money with the approval of our State Department. This is why in a legal filing at U.S. court, the Palestine Journalist Syndicate has asked our government be enjoined from providing further weapons to Israel. Talking to MSNBC, Al Jazeera Gaza bureau chief Wali al-Daldo said, "Many Palestinian journalists feel they were let down, left alone to face this massacre and the carnage, and the world did not look at the bigger picture, did not really stand by us as we would have liked. We feel that we are being killed twice, once by the bombs, once by this silence. Tonight we are breaking the silence. We are speaking out on behalf of these journalists and honoring them and highlighting the role our own government plays by greenlighting Israel and giving it total impunity for these crimes in their deaths." I want to turn it over to Representative Tlaib.